chemical reaction to occur. You can't always tell that by doing experiments, and Hess's law allows us to figure out what the energy change for a chemical reaction would be from other chemical reactions. Hess's law allows us to calculate the change in enthalpy, not the energy, the change in enthalpy given by this symbol, change in, upside down triangle, Rxn, change in enthalpy for a reaction, that's supposed to represent reaction here, from tabulated heats of reaction data. So let's look at an example here. For water combusting into water liquid. So here's hydrogen gas. It reacts with oxygen if we spark it, and if we do that, we get an explosion, and what gets produced is hot water vapor. So up over here we have the initial reactants, and then there is a release of heat represented by this downward arrow. This is an exothermic reaction because we start with high amount of stored energy and we go down to a low amount of stored energy, and the remaining energy is the explosion. That's the red bit. Now it's a bit inconvenient to measure this kind of a chemical reaction because, well, it's explosive. It's a bit dangerous. In fact, we can break this up into two steps, which is the purpose of Hess's law. Instead of going directly from the water, from the hydrogen and the oxygen to the water liquid, we can go from the hydrogen and oxygen to the water gas, and then we can cool the gas down to form the liquid. These are the two steps. And Hess's law is very simple. It basically says that the sum of those two separate steps is the same as the first step. So the change in enthalpy for the original explosion is the sum from going from from hydrogen and oxygen to water gas, and then cooling the water gas down to water liquid, which is what would happen eventually if you left the explosion mixture to cool down. Both of those are exothermic, because when a hot gas cools down to a liquid, that will release energy. You know that because when steam hits you on the skin, that's a hot gas and it's burning you. The steam will release the hot energy into your skin and burn you, and that's the heat which is coming down on this second step here. In a nutshell, Hess's law is if a reaction is the sum of two or more reactions, then the overall reaction is the sum of the separate heats of reaction. That's it, guys. Hess's law.